like 3 weeks ago. So.
It's old news.
Chris Prickett with us. We're talking about being a happy homeowner. There's some days that you don't really feel like you're a happy homeowner. Tom said, am I supposed to be a happy homeowner? Since I never have been in all these years. But we're talking cracks big and small. Don't ignore them. We're going to plug them up. We're going to winterize our home. We're going to get ready for what is already here, though.
Winter.
Winter. And then we can move on into getting ready for spring.
Which is how it happens every year.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't change, does it?
Why don't we flip-flop the seasons? Chris, great to see you, and I love you're the house care hero. That's what I understand. The word is on the out. The word is good.
The word is on the street. Yeah.
You're a house care hero. How did you come about that?
Well, I have a website called askprickett.com, and I've been a contractor, well, 30 years. I owned an inspection business, and a few years back I took all of that and I combined it into a real estate business. But what I get is a lot of questions from people, so I started a website. It's called askprickett.com, and I write a weekly column called About the House, and people ask me questions and I love hearing myself talk, so I answer them for them.
Well, we did say big or small, and that's cracks maybe in the house. How do we address if we have some, if it's in the home, we may be in big trouble?
Well, you know, and the operative there is big and small. The small stuff, houses settle, things move, that's life. You repair them. And really what you need to figure out is what is the difference. Is it a small crack or a big crack? And if it's a big crack, is it a problem? So if you look at a crack, and really if it's in your drywall, if it's in your stucco, if it's in your concrete, if you start seeing a displacement or like a V-shaped or something that's opening it up, or if you see China, or if you're outside and you can see inside, something's going on there. So you really discern whether it's a big problem or a small problem. If it's a small problem, there are tons of products on the market that most people can use to take care of things.
I used to use spackle. Is that still?
Well, spackle is kind of like Kleenex these days. It's kind of a generic term. Most people, I don't even know if they're, I mean, I'm sure there's a spackle, but most people have drywall houses, so you're going to use a drywall compound, and sometimes you can use a caulk. If you're outside, there are caulks for concrete. There's an elastomeric caulk for stucco, which is kind of nice because when you get those little hairline cracks, you fill that in, and they also they have a sanded type, which you can't really see the difference, but it moves a little bit. So next year when that movement happens, it doesn't crack again.
I do want to get to the driveways and the sidewalks, because that's where I have a lot of problems with those little hairline cracks that run forever.
Should we be alarmed with those?
Well, the thing with a crack, particularly on a flat surface like a driveway, is what happens, especially up here in the northern country, as far as I'm concerned, you'll get some water in there. It'll freeze. That freezing will cause it to open up a little bit. So then you've got a bigger crack. Then dirt gets in. So when things expand and contract, that dirt keeps it from moving. So when the cracks are small, it's a good idea to seal them then instead of waiting before they get bigger.
With what though? Because there's a lot of different products on the shelves.
And if you've got a concrete driveway or walkway, then you want to get something, and it's pretty easy when you go into the big box store or your local hardware store. I want to thank Ace and Anthem for lending me all of this stuff, but you go to your local hardware store and you'll find it's for concrete, it's for asphalt, it's for stucco. So just read the instructions.
And they'll help you.
And they'll help you, yeah.
Are we going to winterize or move on to spring? Is it too late to winterize?
No, it's never too late, especially if you have you know, some cold weather still coming. But you know this,
this looks like a swimming pool float.
Well, you know, it does.
I could float on this in a swimming pool on this.
I have to tell you, the reason why I brought this was not so much so I could tell you about winterizing, so I could do my robot impersonation from Lost in Space. Warning, danger, Will Robinson. There you go. That's my only impression I do. That's it. That's all I got. But this is if you've got a crawl space or you've got some piping that is exposed to the weather, this has got a little split in it, and you can just take this and and some of them actually even have a little tape that reseals. But if not, you can grab some tape, or I love these cable ties.
Yes.
I mean,
they are so versatile. They're almost like duct tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have, this is like $3 and you've got, I don't know, 250 ties. Just whatever's going on, get these, put it next to your duct tape and your WD-40 and you can stop
It's good for the kids too.
Every
cable
It is for timeouts, absolutely.
Okay.
So these are for your pipes. Now if your pipes freeze, we've got something, and this is something that's going to heat up your pipes. You attach it to the pipes. Again, you can use your tapes or you can use these cable ties.
Okay.
And if your pipes freeze, you take that guy on, you plug it in, and it warms them right up.
Really?
So that'll help thaw it, because if you let them, if they freeze for too long, they'll burst.
But again,
that's
because you're talking about exposed pipes.
Yeah, a lot of houses you'll have it under the crawl space, and really, that's something you want to take a look at every year. You don't want to wait until the pipe bursts. Rodents get under the house, they chew that stuff. And here's another type of pipe wrap you can use for something that's not as nice and symmetrical as this.
This is
It's just an insulated, yeah, it's an insulated wrap.
Okay.
All right. Getting ready for spring. Okay. I do not have a green thumb. I don't claim to have a green thumb. I have a brown one and I have a gray one. I know how to kill stuff. But when the spring starts coming, the weed starts popping up. Right now, and up north maybe a little bit later, it's time to start putting down the weed prevention, okay? The pre-emergent, they call it. Now, this is what a lot of people use. This is a chemical-based product. And I just want to let people know we've got now something that's a natural alternative. And this is made with corn gluten. So
it kills weeds?
It kills weeds, and it's natural. It's much better for everything around. It's a granulated product.
Time released?
It's, well, yeah, it is time released. It's a slow dissolving, and it stays on the ground for a while. But what you want to do with the pre-emergence, you want to stop that stuff before it comes up. Because once it starts seeding, then you've got a crop of weeds in your yard.
So you just sprinkle that on?
Yeah, you just follow directions, sprinkle down. It's pretty easy stuff.
I can do that.
Yeah.
For flowers as well as grasses and that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, you don't want to kill the grass, the flowers and the things, but I'm talking more about weeds that are around in areas where you don't want the weeds.
But would it be safe? I think where you were going, what if it got around the flower?
Yeah, well, you don't want to, because it'll kill flowers as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not a it's not a selective. Most of them are not selective. They're ground clear.
So more like a gravel where you don't have any vegetation.
Gravel. If you got cracks, your cracks in your sidewalks that the grass comes through, things like that.
What's that?
All right, this has nothing to do with summer or winter. I just thought this was the coolest thing. This is called a Zip It. Now, I get calls from people all the time about the stink in the sink.
They tell us to zip it all the time. What
you
does
and me
this
both,
do?
kiddo. Well, people call me, they say, I've got a stink in the sink, and basically what that is that's the crap stuck in that P-trap under the sink. And you smell it. You turn on the water and you smell those things coming up. Well, usually it's the hair and the shampoo and the old toothpaste and God knows what that gets trapped in that trap. Well, what I used to tell people is you unscrew that, you clean it all out. Now, this thing, you don't even have to pull the stopper out. You just lift it up, you shove this guy in there, and kind of roto-rooter it with that. Now, when you pull it out, you're going to have some hairy, interesting stuff on the end there. Might make for a nice science project. But,
or a science fiction movie.
Exactly, but this is just so much easier than...
This is cute.
And it's really cool. And they're like $4 or $5. So you just stick it in the tool shed. Well,
that looks like
along with outside, yeah.
Did you get that from Saturday Night Live?
This is for a most of my children, they take after me that they have that irregular shaped head, so that would fit on there. No, this just goes in the winter on your hose bib. You take this, you put this around the nozzle, you sing that to the wall, and it's got a little cincher here so then that keeps that from freezing if you don't want to drain down and turn off your outside faucets for the winter. And then when you need to use it, you just pop that off, let it slide out. Yeah. And it's just styrofoam, just a couple bucks, and
One other little package.
No, those are my zip ties. We've got everything.
That's why excuse me.
You always have a question for me that's right out of left field, and I'm waiting for it today.
Well, that's what, no, I don't have it. I just want to let people know they can reach you about anything having to do with the home. What's the easiest way to get to you, Chris?
My website, askprickett.com. Prickett.com. My last name, Prickett. Just go to my website. You can contact me through that. I've got lots of tips. I've got my old articles, my monthly newsletters, the archives. You name it, it's there. If I don't know it, I'll fake it.
I know. His newsletter looks like something like this.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm told it's from the 90s. I have to update, so I'm working on some.
Don't update. We're retro.
Okay.
We like to read.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we come back in the spotlight.